Hey y'all, I'm Dani, and this is Heard. Hi guys, welcome back to Heard the Podcast. I'm Dani, your host. You can find Heard the Podcast on all podcast streaming platforms. That's iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on YouTube, HER''D. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Heard the Podcast, HERD the Podcast. And I'm here joined by a very special guest, the GOAT herself, the creative genius herself, Miss Jada Imani M. Yes, girl. So Jada's here. Jada Imani M is here. Please say the M.
Yes, please say the M.
Absolutely. What's the M stand for?
My last name.
What's your last name? It's all good. Okay. So anyway, I'm really glad you're here. Thanks for coming. We have Sean Cooper in the background. Shout out to Sean Cooper. We have two creative photography goats in the building. So I'm happy for that. Another round of applause. Okay. So usually I play like a little icebreaker game or whatever. And I play like a song, and I do like a song game where, like, you know, you can choose between this or that or whatever. But for you, since you're a visual artist, a creative genius, and you know, I feel like we relate on so many. We have similar tastes. I feel like me, you, and Zariah, we have similar tastes. We love like the early 2000s, like white teen pop dramas or like white teen comedy, like, you know, those staples in our childhood.
Yes.
I'm going to do like a game of this or that. And I'm going to name two movies. We're going to do, let me see. Okay. Let's do 4 rounds, 4 quick rounds. And you're going to tell me this or that.
Okay.
So first, I'm going to go this or that. Princess Diaries or Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, no.
And I asked this because Anne Hathaway is the main character in both these movies.
Yes.
And I feel like both of these movies have the same, like, you know, premise of, like, you know, the girl gets made over. She has like this transformative moment and things like that. So, yeah.
That's
Princess Diaries or The Devil Wears Prada.
You know, I never thought about it like that. She definitely had a big transformative moment in both films. I love both movies. I mean, Princess Diaries, definitely childhood fave. Devil Wears Prada was more when I was older.
Yes.
I'm going to choose Princess Diaries only because without Princess Diaries, we wouldn't have got to The Devil Wears Prada.
Absolutely. Yes. I almost wanted to ask you a Cinderella story or Princess Diaries. I feel like Cinderella story, it wouldn't have made it. It wouldn't have made the cut.
Princess Diaries would have easily been like
And it was 2 or 3 sequels. It was 1 sequel.
Yeah,
it was Princess Diaries 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
And wasn't Raven in the second one?
Yes, Raven was in the second one.
Okay, bad.
Big Raven Simone fan.
Yes, the Go Edition channel. Okay, so next is Stomp the Yard.
Okay.
Or You Got Served.
You Got Served.
Really? Why? I'm curious. Sean, what would you have picked? I'm curious because you made a face like you was like this was a hard one because I don't know what I would pick.
You know, it's funny. I don't really remember either.
You don't?
My gosh.
Damn, for real?
Okay, well,
BET plays it all the damn time, like Baby Boy.
I haven't watched TV in like 10 years.
Oh, you're a streamer, aren't you? You're a streamer. Okay, yeah, I'm a streamer. I'm a streamer too. Yeah.
So see, Stump the Yard, Crumpin', more so, and Steppin', and You Got Served breakdancing. Right. But you know, You Got Served again. It's just
do it for Lil Saint.
I think overall, I liked that storyline a little more.
You Got Served?
Yeah, I like the You Got Served.
So you pick You Got Served over Stump the Yard?
Yes, I absolutely would. I've rewatched that way more. Stump the Yard, I don't know, something about it that I don't think anything will ever compare to the first time I saw the movie. And I've been chasing that feeling with that.
So it's
but
like
You Got Served always feel excited when I see that movie.
That's an interesting
Stump the Yard, I don't feel the same excitement. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, Chris Brown dies in the beginning.
We were all pissed about that shit.
Exactly.
You had him in all the trailers.
And for you to see it, it's like,
huh? No, we didn't.
Child, the movie has been out
about
for
10-12 years.
A long time. Well, child, that sounds like a personal problem.
Okay, I might have to go with Stomp the Yard because it gave me like the college vibe, the stepping, and you know what I'm saying. And they had some really good choreographed dance moves. I felt like it was very choreographed. Neo was in it.
They did. You know what? Oh man. Okay. I'm thinking.
No, not to sway you. I'm just saying. That's for me. My personal
pick. I'm thinking
pick.
About more of the better scenes in Stump the Yard, like when like the probate scene.
Even the finale though. The finale
was really good.
We were up to Thetas.
But that you got served finale though, when they did it for Lil Saint and they brought the crew got back together.
Didn't they dance in the rain when you got served? And they danced in the rain on Stomp the.
They practiced in the rain on You Got Served. They had a little montage sequence, but Step Up 2 was when they definitely were
slipping and sliding, splashing and splishing. Yeah,
sliding.
You saw China's pictures when she was at that daggone.
I was there. I was there on the stage. I literally watched them do backflips and breakdancing in that Pepsi. Look, can I curse?
Yes.
Pepsi looking ass water. It was nasty.
Like,
it was very nasty.
And it was a lot of the same skin tone too. So I'm playing.
Child, child.
Not the water. Did China post the pictures of them splishing and splashing and stuff? Slipping and sliding and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like I knew. I said on her story, I was like, "Look, this is gonna be some good photos right here." She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna post these." I'm like, "Yeah, but girl,
she didn't post them yet." But I saw on her story, and then I saw it in person. And I'm just like, Jesus, Devontae Christ.
Not Devontae.
Yeah, Devontae.
Not Devontae Christ. Okay. So you got served.
Yep.
For me, it's Stomp the Yard. I have one more little wild card.
Okay.
Stomp the Yard or Drumline?
Drumline. Drumline is actually one of my favorite movies ever.
Really? Why?
Ever.
Why?
That is such a good movie. I mean, like Nick Cannon, I really feel Nick Cannon solidified himself as a serious actor because before, like, he was on Nickelodeon doing a lot of comedy, but like he really showed he could do a dramatic role. That storyline,
yeah,
is so,
he couldn't
good.
read music and
yeah, his character was very dynamic. He had a lot of layers to his character, and he changed so much by the end of it. And like the experience he had, like it really humbled him. It really
and I love when movies have like those people those like gems in there, like that he had Orlando Jones in it.
Yeah,
he had I don't know that man's name, but it's the black guy that was his band leader. He's always in stuff, and we all know his face.
Yeah,
but he was in it. It was him. Yeah, he was in that. Freaking the nigga from
what's that?
Marcus. Yes.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
I love him.
Yes, girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Drumline easily. It's not even.
Damn, Drumline. Drumline walked. So Stomp the Yard and You Got Served could run. Wait, no, what came out first? You Got Served or Drumline?
Oh, damn! I feel like it was around the same time. I don't remember. I
feel like You Got Served might have came out.
And like B2K was popping around the same time.
I feel like You Got Served came out around the time Love Don't Cost a Thing came out. I feel like.
Yeah, Love Don't Cost a Thing was definitely after Drumline.
Yeah,
I remember.
It was after? It wasn't before?
It was after. Because I remember he was bald most of the time in Drumline.
Mm-hmm.
Love Don't Cost a Thing came out shortly after that.
Okay.
But I remember wanting to see Love Don't Cost a Thing because...
Sean's fact checking.
Drumline came out in 2002.
Okay.
When did...
And You Got Served was 03, right?
Let's look that up.
It's given 01 for you guys. Maybe it was either
01.
04.
Okay, right after.
Drumline before I watched You Got Served and all the rest of the dance movies.
Okay.
I lump them all together.
So Drumline came out before You Got Served.
Yeah, Drumline came out 2000. I remember buying that on DVD and watching that on the DVD player. Like everything else came on like on demand. That's how I remember watching You Got Served and the rest of the dance movies.
That makes sense. But see, it's also like what he said, You Got Served. It's like You Got Served, and then it's like the rest of the dance movie.
Yeah.
That came after that.
I lump them all together.
Yeah, like a box set.
I remember them as like just that scene in the rain.
That scene.
Classic R&B scene too.
That's hard. My bad. I'm
It's just, but no, it's like the nostalgia. Like it's just like those moments. Like I feel like certain moments they're just tastemakers for like with what you got going on and like and I feel like I think Bow Wow had a good run too with his movies like Roll Bounce and
Roll Bounce.
Lottery Ticket was the shit too. Really, you don't like Lottery Ticket?
It was okay. I think I need to rewatch it. No, but Roll Bounce is another one of them ones. Roll Bounce is another one of them ones.
Yeah,
that's really up there for me. Again, great storyline.
Because I don't even know what movie can go against Roll Bounce if I had to compare to ask somebody about it.
Like really,
that's the only type of movie like this ilk for
that was made like
that was at acclaim at the time. I feel like that's why Drumline stood so well because there wasn't any other movie out.
And then after that, they want to make all these college movies and shit like that.
Yeah, but exactly. I feel like they focused in on a piece of college that people don't really pay attention to as much. It's like football, basketball, dancing. I feel like nobody really...
Because that band is blood, sweat, and tears, too.
But it takes you into a whole nother world of like how the band world is and how intense it is. And like,
yeah.
Just from working with bands in high school and like photographing them, like I photographed the Raspberry band a lot.
I went to Gwynn Park.
Oh, lit. So you right down the street with it. I would photograph it, and we would leave at like 5 a.m. and we would go on these band. I guess they were called band meets. I forgot what they were called.
Okay.
Super intense, and their practices are really intense as well. But I feel like not enough people talk about it.
And them daggone band directors too were crazy too.
Yeah, they like army people, like.
Because you marching and carry them heavy ass instruments too.
You gotta be mentally strong to do that in the heat.
And then be skilled too. Yeah, be a skilled instrument player.
It's like a moving meditation in a sense. When you out there, you can't think about nothing but what you're doing. You can't think about how hot it is. You can't think about the fly that's flying towards you. You gotta be locked in. You
gotta be on beat with the chip. The pom pom girls could get a dance to your shit too. It's a whole situation. Really? The arrangements.
My bad. I keep butting it.
I know. We have to have me and you, Sean. Me and you. You next. You next after Jada. Okay, so okay, two more. Mean Girls or Clueless?
Oh, Mean Girls
over Clueless?
Yes, Mean Girls over Clueless.
Why?
Easily. Well, Clueless is a cute time.
Really, it's a
cute time.
You think Mean Girls is more iconic than Clueless?
Yes. I mean, look, I love Brittany Murphy though. Rest
in peace to Brittany Murphy.
Rest in peace, Brittany Murphy. But Mean Girls.
Mean Girls is.
And I also just want to throw in there how much I love Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
I love Lindsay Lohan.
That's another GOAT.
And Mean Girls, I really like Mean Girls because it was so problematic. But it wasn't saying like this is okay. It was just like here's all the stereotypes about
it was well thought
life, out. And we're just going to put them in this movie. Like every single thing. Like the stereotypical dumb blonde or even unfriendly black hottie.
The lesbian.
Right. The whole lesbian thing and, just everything.
The cool mom. I'm a cool mom.
Yes, the cool mom who's really like, okay, cool mom, really a pushover, just tries to get her daughter's approval.
Well, she tries to live through her daughter.
Exactly.
You saw that? Remember that talent show when she was like,
oh my gosh, yes,
with the camera and she was like, yeah.
When she was exactly. It's such a good movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I think Mean Girls is a culture. Like that movie, that was a culture.
It is, and so many quotables. Quotables.
Clueless. I want my pink shirt back.
I want my pink shirt back. She doesn't even go here. I love
Is butter a carb?
Oh my gosh. Is your muffin buttered? Would you like us to hire someone to butter your muffin?
Girl, I think Clueless is good for the outfits.
Good for the outfits, for sure.
Yeah, like those outfits are iconic. I'll say that.
Definitely better fashion for sure.
What do you think? One more question before the last one. What do you think was Lindsay's peak? Like her peak movie or peak television moment? Like, where do you think she peaked? You think it was Mean Girls where she peaked?
That was, I think, the last.
Because before
really
Mean Girls,
iconic.
she had the Teenage Drama Queen.
And
she had the
freaky Teenage Drama Queen. The thing is, that came out literally right before Mean Girls, the same year.
Because she was working.
But
that movie came out straight to Disney Channel, right? Or was it in theaters?
That was in theaters. Yeah.
But that was a Disney production, right?
Yeah, it was a Disney production. I feel like Mean Girls was supposed to be her transition point to doing.
Because after that shit, she was.
But yeah. Unfortunately, I believe it was after that when things kind of went, downhill in her personal life. So she just wasn't acting anymore.
And she had like a reality show on E called Living Lohan.
Yeah, I didn't tune in for that one.
I think it was mainly about her sister.
Okay.
And stuff, yeah.
Child, yeah, I ain't tuned in for that one.
I was definitely tuned in. I love that trash. I always loved trash. When I was growing up, I loved trash TV.
I did love
I love
trash.
a good trash. I
love
good
me
trash.
some Bad Girls Club. That was my trash.
Yeah, mine too.
Top tier trash.
But MTV had a good run with like musicians in the reality shows, like the Ashley Simpson show, the Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey stuff.
I saw some of that, but like I don't know. When I think about that's VH1 though. When I'm thinking about
the Flavor of Love and the New
and I Love New York.
Listen,
I wasn't
she
supposed
is
to
the
be
GOAT.
watching that. I was
Tiffany
not.
Pollard. She
really is. She is the GOAT for real. I wasn't supposed to be watching that show, but like
we weren't either.
When I went over my grandma's house, she was like, she would just put it on. I'll be watching it with her. It was always at grandma's house watching shit. I was
the same one. The same
one.
Okay, last one.
I'm curious about this last one.
Oh, it's I don't think it's gonna be too hard for you. I don't know. Whatever you say. The Notebook or A Walk to Remember.
I've never seen A Walk to Remember.
Oh, what?
And The Notebook is so depressing. I've only seen it like once, 1.5 times. It's just, I mean, it's a beautiful movie, and I love Rachel McAdams.
I do too.
Child,
it's too much for you.
I try to do the more comedic, the rom-com. If I'm gonna do a romance.
Were you more so like a She's All That type of girl?
I do really like She's All That. I do really like She's
That was another like Cinderella story type of movie.
I don't know. Something about those for me when it's like, okay, the girl, I mean,
the dorky girl.
The loser, for lack of better terms. She really just becomes that girl.
Like she gets saved by like the jock.
And then she realizes she was that girl all along, but she just didn't know it.
That's how all the 2000s movies were.
Right.
Yeah.
Typical.
And Gabby was in half of them. Gabrielle Union, she was in all. I was watching something. I'm like, Gabrielle Union she was in everything, and she looked really good.
See, I'm surprised you didn't say anything about Bring It On.
I wanted to, but I didn't know what to put it up against. I didn't know what to put Bring It Up. Right. Bring It On is my shit. Yeah. What can you compare really it to that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But simply on topic, tell me how that made you feel. Like Bring It On.
Bring It On. Okay. Honestly, when I first saw it, I was like 5 years old, child. I didn't really understand how.
Wait, how old are you now?
I'm 26.
Okay.
And I'll be 27.
So if you were 5 when it came out, then that means I was 8 or 9. No, I was 8. That was 8.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's one of my favorite movies, but I didn't really get how important the message was until like
all the Bring It Ons have the same message on all the sequels have the same message.
Yeah, but those all really sucked, except for like
the Solange one.
Solange.
Oh my god! Even though that was that would kind of sucked a little bit too, but Solange was in. I was like, I love me some Solange.
Yeah, that one was very corny, but it was still pretty good, especially in comparison to the other sequels. But that first one was so good, and I feel like it. I don't know if it went over everyone's head like it did with mine. The message just really about appropriating the culture and just how hard they had to fight to even be seen and get into the cheerleading competition.
And how their style was stolen and
literally stolen and appropriated. And then it's so interesting because then you have this main character who really has no ill intentions, but the person before her, she messed everything up. So now they're like, oh well, all of y'all, Big Red. Yes, Big Red. Hate her ass.
Yeah.
Big Red. But yeah, that great movie. I wish that it was centered around the Clovers though.
So I saw something on Twitter where I don't remember I just remember watching it as a child. I don't remember the whole premiere of it. Right. But no, Gabrielle Union said it to her mouth. She said that when they released the trailer for the movie and stuff, they shot extra Clover scenes just for the trailer so people can go and see it. So none of the trailer scenes were in the movie. but they went and shot extra Clover scenes just for the trailer.
I saw something about that, and I think I saw some of the clips from it.
I did
and I
too.
think they also ended up using that for Blacks As If music video.
Oh,
I think
the same scenes?
I think so, because they were like in a hallway, like in the school. So I believe they ended up using it for that music video as well, because that song was on the soundtrack.
As if.
But that's so crazy. And then the fact that they use like the scenes from the Black girls to get more people to see it.
I wonder why.
That was very interesting. They should have just kept the scenes in there in the movie.
No, because they probably already shot the movie, and then they were like, "Oh, let's try to get." They probably did like, because I feel like some movies do like little testers in different regions. Maybe I don't know, whatever reason
Probably
they had. I don't
so.
know. But anywho, Jada Imani M, let's get into you, Miss Creative Director, Photographer. Like, what are your titles? What are you currently into?
Photography, creative direction, filmmaking. Those are my main three.
So photography is your first love.
So technically, little backstory, my first love is actually acting.
Ooh.
Yeah, so when I was 10 years old, I started taking acting classes. And then I went to Thomas Pullen for drama. And then I went to Suitland for theater.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was acting from the age of 10 to 18.
That's what. So what made you like? So why aren't you doing that now?
Honestly, I ended up going to college my first year at a HBCU. Hated their theater program.
Where?
It was trash.
You don't want to say it? We'll say okay. That's fine. Okay.
You
know what?
I didn't
Really.
I didn't like the theater program.
I went
really
to
didn't like
Towson
it.
for because I'm a graphic designer. I went to Towson for their program, for their design program.
Yeah. See, I didn't really like the program. It was one of those situations where I had a class and it was like, oh, you get an A or an F.
Damn.
And then they weren't very involved in telling us the ways in which we can earn either or.
Oh no.
So it was just a really frustrating experience. It wasn't very family oriented. It wasn't something I was used to. You know, when I went to Suitland, we were so tight knit. And even though we all had our moments, I mean, it was like so many of us, so we're not going to get along all the time.
Right.
But very much a family. We all loved each other at the end of the day. Was not like that at all. It was not like that at all. Also, I realized I did not necessarily want to do theater. I wanted to do film, acting for film.
So theater. Okay, so the difference, but for the listeners and the watcher, the viewers, what is the difference between theater and film?
So theatrical acting, you know, it's like being on Broadway, and you get on stage. You're in a play, say. Because I was in Midsummer Night's Dream in 10th grade. So if I'm on stage and I mess up, there's no cut. There's no running back. It's you better act through it. Literally. But when it comes to filmmaking, especially nowadays, because a lot of stuff isn't live anymore unless you're broadcasting, you could yell cut. You could, you know. And it's also, you know, because bloopers, that's how bloopers happen. But also on stage, you have to be so big and boastful and really project your voice. And with film, it's like, okay, still act, but you have to really tighten it up. Especially when they're doing close-ups. Like your movement has to be minimal. It's not as big. It's not as bodacious. It's not
Because you have to fit in that frame.
You have to fit in that frame. And you can't, and it's like your viewers are right there. They're watching on TV or their phone or whatever.
Yeah.
But versus like on stage, you have an audience that's a few feet or like, you know, hundreds of feet back. So they got to see your facial expressions. They got to see your movements. They have to be very big. So yeah, those are the biggest differences.
So you think you enjoy acting in film, and you also enjoy creating in film, or which one is it for you?
Well, I enjoy creating in film and acting in film, but honestly, I have a lot more experience with theater right now. But I'm about to start getting back into acting, specifically for film.
Do you have something lined up? You can tell us when you can tell us when the cameras are off if you like to. We'll get back to that.
I won't say exactly what it is, but it is a short comedic film that I am supposed to be in. Hopefully coming out this year, if not by next year.
Are you starring in it, or?
Nah, not starring in it. Supporting role, but got to start somewhere.
Is it local?
Yes, it will be local. Very much local, very much homegrown.
Okay.
And we'll likely hear familiar music and familiar areas in the city.
Okay,
so I'm really excited for it.
I'm excited for that too. Okay, Miss Jada Imani M. Okay, so yes. So how did you get into photography? Like, how did that start for you? Because you said you started off with acting, and then you realized that you were more interested in dabbling in film more than theater. But when it came to photography, and then also I feel like you have really good relationships as well with local performers and even performers that are really big. So tell me more about that. Like, how did you navigate through that? How did you build those relationships as well?
Ciao. Okay, so I actually failed my first year of college, basically, between hating the theater program and just being really distracted, just having freedom that I hadn't had before. And I went through a phase of 2 years of just figuring out what I really wanted to do. And then I remember being in psychology class and I watched this documentary and it inspired me to start making documentaries myself. And I thought, well, I really want to learn how to do this. So I started going to the Art Institute in 2015.
Wait, pause right there.
Yeah.
What was one of the documentaries in psychology? Was it Paris is Burning?
No, I forgot the name of it. But it was about the LGBT community. But it
wasn't Paris is Burning?
No.
Okay.
But it was prominent figures, and it was a lot of interviews. It was some, other footage, but it was a lot of interviews. I wish I remembered the name, but it was very interesting. We watched a few things in psychology that really sparked my interest in filmmaking. So 2015, I decided to go to the Art Institute, and I really wanted to start with documentary filmmaking. That was my main thing. Then by 2016, when I took a lighting class, our first assignment was actually to take photos. And I had this small Sony camera, and I was like, okay. Was shooting on automatic settings, child. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I'm just like, maybe I could really try this out. And then by 2017, I realized it was something I really wanted to do. So took advantage of the resources that I had, and I took studio photography. And that's when I started really taking portraits, things like that. But I went through a period of telling myself, I'll never do this in photography.
Saying you can't do something, or you...
It was more so that I couldn't, but I said, I'll never do this.
You're not confident. You weren't confident at first.
I was not confident at first. At first it was, I'll never do. I'm not really into portraits. And that's because my portraits were coming out like ass. And then that's when I took studio photography, learned more about lighting. And I'm like, okay, well, now that I see that I can do it, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do this. And then for a period of time, it was events and it was concerts. So I'm like, I'm not interested in doing events. I'm not really interested in doing concerts.
Jada, when you do it
But then it got to a point, I was like, I actually want to do events and concerts. In 2019, that's when things really changed for me. That was the biggest change. I actually started asking for advice. China, made in China, China Keys.
Mrs. Payne?
Yes, Mrs. Payne. I asked her for advice as far as how to get into concert photography. And she's the one that really helped me get into that. Big part
as
of
in
how
like
I
getting
got
into
here
it as in like being able to be there.
More so just telling me how she got started, going to small venues, connecting with local artists more, asking them to shoot their show. Just, hey, let me into your show and I'll get some photos of you and send those to you. Just really getting into more into the quote unquote scene here, paying attention to more events in the area. AV sessions gave me a platform as well to really practice with live music, especially. But it was a period of time before that where I was just feeling sorry for myself all the time.
I feel like we all have those moments
all the time. Just like, oh, I'm being slept on and blah, 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 blah. And then I realized, you know what? This is actually on me. I'm the one that's actually bringing myself down, and I'm not actually taking the proper steps to learn more. And that goes back to, oh, I'll never do concert photography. Oh, I'll never do this. It's because I wasn't good at it. And I wasn't really willing to work hard for it. I thought those opportunities had to be handed to me, but they won't. But once you start doing the work really does speak for itself. It takes time, but it's like 1 minute I'm here and I'm not getting any responses, or I'm getting a lot of rejections when it comes to shooting live music in the area. And next thing you know, I'm getting approved for more shows, or
because your work is speaking for itself.
Yes, the work is speaking for itself, and stop feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, you know, people think photography is just you taking pictures. You have to be very skilled at what you do as a photographer, and you know, you'll know when someone is a good photographer or not.
Absolutely.
But then also, like, and I respect you guys because it takes a lot of passion and patience as well. And, you know, because I'm a graphic designer, but one of the mandatory courses that we had to take was photography. And, you know, I had the camera, the automatic setting and all that other stuff. And I'm like, oh God, this is so hard. I can't, oh my God, let me just pass this class, child. I don't just, you know what I'm saying? But like, but it's hard. It's very difficult. Once you're in that, it can be very difficult. So it takes a lot of skill, a lot of patience, and all that. So I definitely like tip my hats to you, people like Sean Cooper, people like China, like all of y'all, for real. So,
thank you.
Yes. So anyway, so now let's go with the event stuff first. Okay. See, now event photography, right? So, you know, those are fun. Those are super fun. And like with you, you know, it's not just the typical event photography. You make it so artistic to me. Like, I'm like, this is like those Rico Nasty photos at that Kehlani concert from 2 weeks ago, girl. Listen,
thank you.
Listen, girl. I'm like, was she at an event or was this a photo shoot? Because it's just like,
oh my God.
Because it was one where it reminded me. It was one where it was like dark and she was kind of like green and you had like those swirls around her.
Oh yeah.
With that black background.
Yes.
How did you get that? How?
Well, so the circles is a lens filter. The green It was actually annoying because they turned on the green light for her song Money. And I guess they forgot to change the light. So at first I was kind of annoyed, but I just went with it. And, you know, she didn't have that much backlighting. So that's why it was like really dark in the back. And then the green light just happened to shine right on her.
So do you get more anxious with event photography? Like, do you guys like ever are anxious about catching the right moment for the photo?
It depends on the event because I kind of separate events from live music. So events, something like Adobo DMV, for example, I don't really get nervous about that because I know people are going to dance and it's going to be easy for me to take photos. A lot of people, pretty much everyone's going to be drunk and they're going to be asking me to take photos of them, which makes me feel good because I'm like, okay, I definitely want Pedro and Waltero to get their money's worth out of me. So I don't really get nervous with that, but it's the unfamiliar events, stuff where people are kind of like, you get there and they're clutching their purse when you try to take a picture of them. Like, they don't want their picture taken. It's events like that. I'm worried, like, oh, if it's not going to be a lot of people, it's going to be harder for me to get those shots. So stuff like that, I get more nervous about. Live music, it depends. More so, it's the type of access I'll have. Because usually first 3 songs from the pit, I don't know what people think. I tell
explain
people
what is the pit.
Okay, so photo pit, it's that little area right in front of the stage between general admission and the stage that photographers are usually in. That you'll usually only see us in for first 3 songs. I don't know what people usually think, but when I tell them I can only shoot 3 songs, they're really surprised. I'm like, no, so we cannot stay there the whole time.
Oh, so they say, okay, 3 songs, that's it, guys, go.
Yep. Literally, you have to go in most cases. Only time something like that would not happen is like at a festival if you're shooting in-house. Like when I was shooting for Something in the Water, pretty much every performance I was there.
Listen, first of all, sorry to cut you off. Tell them your Instagram real quick.
Oh, it's Jada Imani M.
Okay, girl. Those Uzi Vert pictures, girl. Who was the wait? So okay, because listen. Okay, gosh. So what was your favorite out of that whole festival of those photos that you took?
Of Uzi?
No. Who was your favorite photo moment? What was your favorite photo moment from that festival? Because them Uzi Vert photos, those are my favorite. Those Uzi Vert.
Uzi was one of my favorites. Definitely in the top. It was definitely exciting to shoot him. I mean, first song, he literally jumped off the stage into the crowd, and they were holding him up. And that's how I got that one photo, that black and white photo. I didn't even think that photo was going to be that photo until I edited it. And I was like, okay, this is the one. So that was really exciting. I met him backstage briefly. He's really nice. He's just like a little kid with a bunch of tattoos and spiky hair. He was really nice. I asked him to take a photo, and he like posed for me, and he's really nice. So I liked it because that was a nice personal moment. After me running around chasing him, literally. And so one thing I really like about the Uzi photos, it was a photo I took of him while he was running in the photo pit. And another photographer named Nicolita, she actually got a picture of me taking a photo of him. So, yeah, that was a really cool moment. Another good moment, Pusha T's performance.
Yes.
He was amazing. He killed it. His facial expressions. That's what I was really looking for, because I know with this era, this album, you know, especially in his music videos, he was like more expressive with his faces. And Pharrell and Friends was pretty iconic. It was hard to get shots. We was packed in like sardines in front of that pit, because most of the time they came down to the end of the catwalk, so we were all like this, like the whole time, and I was in so much pain, carpal tunnel in both arms. Cramps.
It's a workout shit. It's a
workout, and it was so hot, but it was great. I would do it all over again.
Yeah, that was a situation. What was the most fun for you? Something in the Water or Broccoli City Fest?
Something in the Water. Because Broccoli City was fun, and I literally could not have gotten Something in the Water without doing Broccoli City.
Oh, really? Why you say that?
So I shot Broccoli City. Sean and China, they were the photo leads for that team. And literally the photo lead from Something in the Water asked them for recommendations for local photographers. And they both recommended me separately. I literally have a rejection email from Something in the Water in my inbox, but by then I was already on the team. So that's why it's just like literally had to do one thing to get to the next thing. Broccoli City was a very different experience, though. They approved way too many photographers. So we were like, it was like super cramped. It was cold. It was raining. I still enjoyed it overall, but Something in the Water, also met a lot of new people at Something in the Water, because they had some out-of-state photographers.
Yes.
And some people from the area that I had never met before.
They had a lot of like different like transplants during that festival. I feel like, even though I was at home watching on Amazon Prime, I still knew that there was a lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, it was an overall great experience. I met a lot of people. I met Baby Tate. I met Tierra Whack. Tierra Whack's one of my favorite artists ever, and she was just really nice. So a lot of good moments at Something in the Water.
So what would be a memorable, you gone? Yeah. Okay. All right, no, it's fine. All right. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Sean. Thank you for coming.
What would you say was your favorite concert to shoot? Like your most memorable concert to shoot? Because you said that you love Uzi and you love Pusha T, but when it comes to the concert, like this, the concerts, what was your most memorable or your most favorite experience with that?
Most memorable
or favorite experience with that? Or both. I'm trying to think without overthinking.
I know Lizzo was definitely one of my favorites.
Back in 2019?
Yes, 2019 at the Anthem.
At the Anthem.
Sold out show 2 nights in a row.
She did do that.
Yes. I went the first night. I mean, the stage production was beautiful. She had a whole set, and the lighting was gorgeous, and her costume was beautiful. She sounded amazing. I got a lot of good shots from that concert. Still to this day, one of my favorite photos ever comes from that show. But then also, I really did enjoy shooting Rico Nasty at the Anthem recently. It was just really exciting. I don't know, something about just seeing someone that you used to just casually see in the area, like. Because I remember when I met her years ago when she was just doing more visual art. And literally the next year, she dropped iCarly. And then just blew up. So it's really great. And I'm really happy for her. And kind of just, even at the meet and greet, just felt like a full circle moment.
The meet and greet at the Anthem?
The meet and greet.
Oh, at
before
the she
that
did
was
the
at,
somewhere shop.
Yes, yeah.
Those photos were good as fuck too. You did a really good job. Did she hire y'all?
Okay, so I didn't technically get hired for that, but I reached out to Miles, her DJ, and he forwarded my information to Zay. Zay is the founder of the agency Jack's Hub. And, of course, like, me and Zay, we already knew each other. So, once he sent my Instagram, he was kind of like, oh, yeah, duh. Of course, she can come and take photos. So, yeah, I showed up, and I was just really happy to be there. The installations were beautiful.
They were.
And, you know, ran into Rico a little before that, and we interacted. So, it was great.
She seems nice. She's nice.
Yeah, she was really nice. She's really, like, her fans, like, I feel like that's why her fans love her so much, because she loves her fans. And you could see that she wasn't like, oh yeah, whatever. She was like hugging them, and like they was rapping lyrics with her. Like, she was really just, I feel like if she had the time, she would have had even more individual moments with them. But they literally, it was so many people, they ran out of time.
They did the Somewhere shop did a really good job with Pusha T's installation, because he had one right before the Something in the Water. They did a really good. I love how they customized that wall.
I know. I wish I could have made it, but I know. I think it was the first day of Something in the Water when they did that, and I couldn't be at both. So, and I found out about it after the fact. I'm like, oh man.
yeah. But I hope they have some more though. That's like, I love like visual interactions like that, and especially in the city. And I love Union Market in general. I love Union Market's vibe. I love what they have going on. I think it's very cultural. I think it's just very like I feel really good being around there.
Yeah, I love Union Market. Parking is insane.
Yeah.
But that
parking lot over there across from Songbird, girl, park over there.
Oh yeah,
it's a whole parking lot right there.
I do need to start parking over there. Yeah, once I find parking, I'm like, okay, cool. We in here.
Yeah, I'm
comfortable. Usually don't have to pay for it, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm tired of paying for stuff in DC. No more.
Yeah, me too.
So outside of like, you know, Black culture and hip hop and stuff, like, what have you ever had the experience of like photographing different genres of music or different types of artists that, you know, like who?
So my first concert that I shot at the Anthem was actually a metal concert.
Oh, what was the band?
The band is called Avatar.
Oh shit.
And it was very like, it was almost the lead Mike, he had his face painted white, very similar to like the leader of Kiss. The band, very similar, and I believe they're UK based, so we had on like one of those like almost like vintage like suits with a bunch of ruffles on the front, and but still like very cute, big hat. It was so interesting. And their lighting director, amazing. Their lights were amazing.
What year was this?
2019.
And what made you did you ask to be a part of that, or? So
I was shooting for a publication called Capital Sound DC.
Okay.
They also played a pivotal role in me actually getting into more shows. They're a really good platform in the area. And I remember someone else was assigned to shoot the metal concert, and then they couldn't do it. So they're like, hey, can you fill in for me? And I was like, sure. Because they were like at the Anthem. And I'm like, oh, that's one of those new venues I had never been. And I got there and I'm like, oh, wow, like this is really big. And so when the show started and the lights just started going off, and then they had on the stage, it was a big sign that said Avatar, and it was lit up. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was just so amazed. I just took a lot of good photos at that show.
You got to show me some.
I really enjoyed it. I will definitely show you.
So how did you feel about shooting the Coldplay concert at FedEx Field?
Oh, yeah. I forgot. That was insane. I mean,
those photos came out real nice. Are they still on your page?
Thank you so much. Yes, they are still on my page. I couldn't believe I got into that. I was like, Coldplay. I started thinking like,
did you apply for that one too?
I did. So I shoot in-house for Live Nation now.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I just started.
I know that's right.
I just started shooting for them this year. So when they sent out the list of shows, I believe that was my top one for the month. I was like, yeah, I really want to shoot Coldplay. And found out it was at FedEx Field. And I'm like, oh, first and only stadium show. So that was very different. Very different.
How?
Because it's so big. Like the crowd, I mean, it's like you think that Capital One Arena is overwhelming.
Oh no, FedEx is a whole nother monster.
FedEx is like that times 2. And then it's this one guy that's in the pit. I forgot his name, but he had shot Coldplay a few times before, and he was just like, oh yeah, just letting you know, there will be fireworks and confetti in the first song. And I'm like, oh, the first song, not the grand finale, not the first song. I'm like, okay. So they started, and them fireworks went off like every time the chorus started. And it was confetti everywhere. I still have confetti in my camera bag. I kept it as a souvenir. And then by the second song, it was like I was shooting, and it was this giant beach ball type of balloon. It just bop hit me in the head. And I looked up, it was just balloons everywhere. Just going everywhere, like all the way up in the stands, child. I was like, oh my gosh, they are really doing it right now. Like I don't even know what to shoot. It was a lot, but it was fun. It was fun.
You got some good pictures of her, didn't you?
Oh,
because her opened up for Coldplay, right?
Yes, she did, and I forgot about that. I'm like, I wonder who's opening. And then I remember I was running late trying to find parking, and one of the promoters, she was like, "Oh, you're probably gonna miss her performance." I was like, "Oh no!" So I was like, "Let me hurry up," and I got there just in time
for her to start.
Yes, I got there 5 minutes before she started. I ran to that pit, and I was really happy. I felt like I kind of redeemed myself. I had taken photos of her before at the Anthem, and I liked them, but I felt overall they could have been better. So here I was like, okay, I got to really fight for these. And I ended up really loving those photos.
I'm always so proud of you guys whenever I see you guys at concerts. I'm like, oh, is that Jada right there in the pit taking pictures? Because I saw you at the I saw it because I was at the Tyler Creator show, Call Me If You Lost tour, and I looked down because I was relatively late. I was in the seats, but I was in like the section 100, so I had like a straight view of everything. And I saw your afro, and I was like, oh, there go Jada. She better get some bomb ass pics of Tyler.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, because you didn't post anything. Yeah, what happened?
So I was actually going as a fan to Tyler's show. It is very hard, very, very, very hard to get access to shoot Tyler.
Really?
It's really hard.
It's a Tyler thing?
Sometimes he doesn't even approve outside photographers. They'll just have a tour photographer or two, and that's it. They're very, very selective. So I'm working my way there to get that opportunity. Kendrick Lamar is also extremely hard.
Really?
I tried to shoot.
Oh yeah, he was here. He was here a couple weeks ago.
Yes, I went as a fan, and I was so it was bittersweet. I was so happy, and I'm so grateful to have the experience. But I was like, wow, I just know I would have killed this. The stage production was amazing.
Damn, yeah, because Tyler, his shows, like I said, every time Tyler comes to DC, I will give him my money every single time he comes, because he puts on a show. He's one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite performers. Like, he puts on a grand show. I think Kali Uchis did a good job. Did you get to shoot her?
Oh my gosh. Listen, let me just say this about that whole show.
Mm-hmm.
I was like sad, like low key. I was very happy, but I was sad on the low, because literally every set was like so inspiring visually. Like, even like, you know, Tizo was the first.
Even Vince's set.
Like, but listen, I have to give it to Tizo, because to be an opener, like an opener, and for them to just give him, you know, the black curtain, and he's like, you know what, nope, I'm gonna bring a whole set. I'm gonna have this whole, you know, Home Depot theme. I'm gonna really put on a show. I really applaud him for that, because a lot of opening acts, they would have just taken it like, oh yeah, just, you know, do some nice stage lighting and keep it moving. But he really brought a whole set with him, and he really made do with that, and he was a great way to open the show. I became a fan after that show. Literally, I already was starting to get into him, you know, since he was on Tyler's album. But after that, I was like, okay, I'm actually.
And wasn't he on Rico's album too?
Yep, he was.
I like his voice.
I love his voice, and the whole nails and the hair thing. Very interesting.
And it makes that metal noise when he walks, and yeah.
Yes, I really like him, and I want to shoot him so bad.
So you didn't get any photos from the Tyler show at all?
No,
none of Kali Uchis. None.
I couldn't. Oh my gosh, when Kali got on,
listen,
those projections. And then she had
outfit changes. She had outfit changes.
I was like, oh my gosh, I would have killed it. Like, I would have had my star filter. I was seeing the shots I would have got. Literally, I'm just like.
Because I saw you in general admission, right?
Yes, I was in general admission.
So you paid a cute little coin, huh?
I did. Instantly, when the tickets dropped.
Oh, same. I was the pre-sale. I got the pre-sale.
I did the pre-sale also. I was not playing.
My tickets was like listen, y'all, get the pre-sale. Listen, get the pre-sale tickets, because my tickets was like $80.
Yeah.
And I was in the section 100.
Yeah.
Right there, like right straight. Like I saw, like we were right. Nice little view.
I was determined. I was determined to go, and I was determined for people to experience it with me. I bought three tickets.
Who'd you bring with you?
Mahogany, aka Mojo. Yeah, she ended up giving me the money for it, but I brought Chikete as a birthday present because it was a few days after his birthday, and I was like, this will be really cool, and I know he loves concerts, so I was like, boom, here you go.
Yeah. Okay, so you kill the concert scene, you kill the festival scene, the live show scene. So when it comes to your creative directing and, like, you know, with your conceptual shots, I see that you have a few conceptual shots on your page. So, like, how do you feel about doing things like that, conceptual, and like what goes into that?
So those things, it's both. All of those things are hard work, but this is a different level of
conceptual
hard work, because it's one thing about events and live music. A lot of stuff is out of your control, so it's really like I'm just capturing what's right in front of me.
Right.
But when it comes to concepts, it's more intricate, especially if it's a passion project, or I have a client like Zariah, for example.
Those shots were great.
Thank you so much.
Amazing shots.
You know, Zariah, she came with her own creative direction, which I love. A lot of people, they don't put that much effort into it. They kind of just leave it up to me, and then I have to explain to them, kind of like, okay, well, you know, you have to pay more for that.
Yeah.
You have to put in more effort as well. You have to care about your own creative direction and your own image at the end of the day. So working with her was a really great experience. And she was with me throughout. Like, even when it came to the post-editing, I remember the first edits I sent her, she was like, basically, don't be scared to go harder with the editing. Because, you know, I go through these phases every now and again where someone hires me who's all like, oh, yeah, I love your style. Then they do the shoot, they get the photos, and it's like, oh, well, I love your style, but maybe not for me. Can I get the raws?
Yeah,
and it's just like, nah, like want me to tone down the editing, and it's like, nah. But Zarai was like, yeah, no, tone it up. Do what you usually do. And I'm like, okay. And then
those were amazing shots.
As far as my own concepts, different story. It's a lot more work.
You do great. Like I've seen you do Odd Mojo, DJ Damo. Like those are very vibrant photos. You did one of a young lady where I don't know her name. I don't know her, but they were really beautiful shots. And I believe that Lightroom posted it on their platform as well.
Oh my gosh,
Adobe Lightroom. Mm-hmm.
I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the ones with the sky?
Yes, the sky. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so that's Eden. Yeah. So my friend Leah, she's a stylist. Mm-hmm. Great, phenomenal stylist. That was actually her creative concept. She put that shoot together, and we were shooting on a roof, and we were in Crystal City. And man, that was the first shoot I did of 2021, I believe.
It might have been.
I think that was the first shoot I did of 2021. And I feel like that really set the tone for me to really dive back into photography all the way, especially, since the pandemic. And then by April 2021, I did a passion project called Death to Assimilation, which is technically unreleased. That is what I would say is the hardest project I've ever done, because I had to cast it. 6 models.
Girl, I think I applied to one of your castings, girl, and I got a rejection email from you. But it was fine.
That was probably from Colors.
I think it was Colors.
That was probably from Colors. That was actually hard as well, because I had over 100 applications, and I did not expect that.
Everyone wants to be a part of a Jada Imani M production.
I did not think that would be the case, especially with the panoramic happening. And that was literally Colors 2020. It was shot in 2020, did the casting in 2020. And I did not think that I would get that response. I'm just like, okay, I got all types of responses from that one, child. I got some angry DMs.
Oh, like of people getting rejected?
No, just people not even being in the running, because it was the focus. So I did Colors. The first one, it was in 2019, and it was just pretty open. I handpicked everyone pretty much. It was just black women, different black women that I knew, different models I knew, put them together. This one shoot. But Colors 2020 was more intentional. I'm like, okay, dark and brown skin models. That's what I wanted. Yeah. And because it just was not enough representation for me, not enough positive representation. And because I cast it in that way, it was some people who were of the fair-skinned community.
Child, if you don't sit your light-skinned ass down somewhere and go and mind your light-skinned business, I know. Go mind your
Child. No, listen, and I had to explain. I'm like, no, I've done this project before.
You explained yourself to that?
I had all skin tones, and I'm just like, okay, I just wanted this. Can I just have this one little thing?
Don't explain yourself to that.
What I'm saying?
This is your art. It's your vision. You don't got to always. You don't have to always explain yourself to that. This is your vision.
Right. So it's just like,
as long as you're not being disrespectful to anyone, I don't see why you need to explain yourself as to why they weren't in your vision.
Exactly.
Maybe next time.
Right. I didn't get disrespectful, child. It was just more so another layer to the concept. And, it was deeper than just, oh, this is a fashion shoot. But Death to Assimilation, that's my baby. That's why it's unreleased, because I have to do a gallery for it. So if anyone knows any gallery spaces in the area.
Speaking of galleries and book signings and whatnot, before we get to that, Jada, she had one of her photos featured on is it a billboard or like a bus stop?
A bus stop.
Is it a bus stop billboard, or is it still called a billboard?
Jada billboards. I just say bus stop.
Yeah,
bus stop
Jada had her art featured in DC.
Yes.
For everyone to see. And I think that same photo was actually, because I remember I honored you on my podcast page maybe like a couple years ago for that photo.
Yes,
and then also that same photo made the cover art for We the Culture, a Facebook it's a Facebook movement, a Facebook campaign that they have going on when it comes to highlighting Black culture, Black creatives and things like that. And then also I felt very honored because I was one of the designers of the book, because it was a project through Creative Theory.
Yeah.
And one of my friends worked there, and then she brought me on as a freelance designer to help out with the book. She was the design lead, and I designed a few pages of my own in the book. And I was honored because I'm like, oh my God, this is Jada on the cover. And I think there was a lot of different photography within the booklet. I think did you have some pictures in the book too?
I've had, I got reached out to first just to be in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a couple weeks went by and I got another email from Creative Theory and We the Culture. And I'm thinking it's a follow-up about, the inserts of the book. And then they said something about a cover. And I'm like, oh, so this is the same book.
It definitely set the tone for that book. That book was so fun to work on.
It was the design was beautiful, by the way. The design.
Shout out to really Courtney, the design lead.
Yeah, shout out to Courtney and shout out to you.
Thank you.
Cause that was amazing, and I didn't realize. I guess I didn't realize how big it was until it came out. Then I was like, oh wow. I like saw like they were posting about it.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, that's really crazy. I almost didn't release that photo project because I expected it to be more. I had this vision in my mind and I was being really hard on myself. And then I just decided to post it on a whim and girl,
no, yeah, that was amazing. Give it another round of applause. That photo series was amazing because you got it posted at a bus stop in DC. I think it was on 14th Street.
It was on 14th.
Girl, it was on 14th and U. You got your picture. You got your picture posted on 14th and U, and then Facebook chose to have it displayed on their material. So, girl, I don't know what you listen. Do you know who you are? Like my friend had to tell me this because I be having my moments too where I'm like, I'm not good enough and my pockets, this is that. I don't think I can do. I don't think I can do. And she was like, "Girl, do you know who you are?
No, for real. Do
you know who you are?
Do you know who you are? I do. I do know who I am. I'm the type of person that really has learned and is continuing to learn the balance between, okay, I'm not dumping on myself, but I'm also not being arrogant. I'm very much confident in myself and I know who I am, more so just waiting on everyone else to catch up to that. And I don't like to speak too much about it because it gets boastful. It gets kind of weird.
Just believe it within yourself, I feel like.
Exactly. And let the work speak for itself, because I know how I felt, especially when I was at Something in the Water and I felt pain that I've never felt like no other in both of my arms. I thought something was seriously wrong beyond carpal tunnel. Thank God that's all it was. But I was worried that I wouldn't be able to shoot for a long time. After that festival, that's how much pain I was in. I was really scared. And I feel like that re-humbled me. And I'm just like, okay, you got this opportunity. But let's not forget, this can easily be taken away from you.
And also maybe it was a lesson for you to just push through whenever you have those times of pain or just those hardships. Maybe that was a time for you to just learn how to push through certain situations.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was hot. I had fresh period cramps.
Oof, them first and second days is horrible.
Yes, literally the first day of the festival, it was like, okay, we're going to bleed.
I know you probably popped a few painkillers, didn't you?
I did. You had
absolutely
did. I'll say Something in the Water team, they really did take care of us though. Our production office was in a hotel.
Oh no, that's right.
And they gave us free meals and water throughout the day.
Because that was a Pharrell event. He had y'all covered. He was campaigning all throughout DC for like a month straight for that damn festival.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, we got another one. We got another. What do you say? We got another one for real. I call you for real because it's the truth. Some shit he say.
He said, I call you for real because you're the truth.
So okay, so let's get to this. Before we close out, I want to talk about the you released a book of your photographs, and then you also held a book signing and a merch pop up.
Yes.
So tell me about that. What made you want to release a booklet of your work?
So I'm the type of person, I really like art to be tangible. I love going to museums. I love, even if when it comes to reading to this day, I'm not an ebook girly. I love tangible objects. I love feeling things in my hands. And it's a whole different feeling seeing my photos in a book, in a collection, rather than in a grid on Instagram or on my website or on Twitter. It's an entirely different feeling. And it's almost just like the images are 3D. They're really coming off the paper.
They're like alive, if that makes sense.
They're alive, exactly. And that's what I really want to do with my art, continuing to do that, which is why I do still have that unreleased project, because when people fully experience that, I want them to really experience it. And that book signing was really just a taste of what I'm going to do. So I'm really excited to officially release that project.
And then you also, so you have so what about your creative directing? Okay. But then also you do set design as well.
Yes.
Because you helped out with Chiquete's set design with his Kanye show he did. Yes. What else did you do? You did a couple other things. I can't remember.
Set design for Foots and Coles. That's really when it started, when I did the
for the Kennedy. No, that was back a couple years ago. But then you also did some set design for the Kennedy Center for Mojo and them, right?
I did not.
You didn't do that one?
We were supposed to, but time just didn't permit for it.
Okay.
We were supposed to do that. But for Foots and Coles, that's when it started. For the Jade project, for the Azor project, they wanted these photos to literally look like the gemstone. So then that's when got the silver material, and I really just winged it. I really winged it. That was my first time doing it.
I think those photos introduced me to you. I think those were the first of the photos I saw of yours. I'm like, who's this person?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad, because I love that. If that's the case, that's great. But then my unreleased project, I did set design for that too. I did a whole Photoshop graphic exactly how I wanted to do it. And then
plan it out.
Put it up. Yeah, that's why I said when this project, I'm going to bore y'all now and explain the whole thing right now, but it'll come a time where I really go in of all the things I did to prepare for that project. So
you're going to come back on the show, right, and tell us about the project, right?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. I can't wait. I'm really excited for that.
So 2 more things. So who would you like to work with, festival-wise, live performance-wise, concert-wise, conceptual-wise, directorial-wise? Who would you want to work with that you have not worked with yet? It can be local, it could be mainstream, it can be anyone. Like, who do you envision?
I envision doing creative work, especially with Tyler, the creator.
Yes, that would be dope.
Tierra Whack, Rico Nasty, on a personal level, because I've had the pleasure of capturing her, but I definitely want to work with her.
No middleman.
Yeah, on a more personal level. Who else? Festival wise, I want to shoot Afro punk. Ooh. I really want to shoot
the Brooklyn and even the overseas. You probably could do good overseas too.
Brooklyn, Paris, London, Atlanta. I want to work with Solange.
Oh, I think listen, I love Solange so much.
I love Solange is something about her. She's just still like, she's so graceful. Like, it's something about her. She's so graceful, but she's still like, I will fuck you up if I need to type energy. And that's why I really love her. I love her direction, her creative direction is so
she composes
good.
like she's composing some ballet in New York. I'm like, do I gotta take them to the Amtrak to New York to see this thing? Do I have to? Because I might have to do it.
I think you do.
I might have to go because I'm just like, girl.
And that's another thing I really like about Solange is she does different things. It's not just, oh, I'm a singer, but it's like, no, I compose music. And not just for myself, I compose music for other things. I direct other people's visuals.
The SZA, she directed SZA's.
The Weeknd. And just everything. I mean, the way she collectively works with her team, just the casting of her films. She releases films like the When I Get Home visual. I feel like that's underrated. I really feel like it's underrated.
That was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. She's like she's one of the tastemakers for me.
Yes.
Even with Seat at the Table, with those videos she put out for that, like those were just like videos. They were gorgeous, and like even her, but like when she, like I said, you said, she composes like the behind the scenes of her making those albums. Like those were like her actually composing. Man, Solange is just like
Solange is one of those people. It's like a reminder to really take your time. She said it 4 years working on a seat at the table, and a seat at the table really. And this is, God forbid she sees this. It's no disrespect, but I feel like that is what really established her as a solo artist. That album was really like,
because everyone woke up. Everyone woke up.
Okay, we knew Solange was talented. We knew she had her own music. Now it's like,
I got made fun of. I got made fun of listening to her music. Like before to the table, like I used to listen to her. I am a real Solange fan. Solo Star, Solange and the Hagley Street. Is it Solange and the Hagley Street Dreams? That's what the name of the album is? Or Soul Angel and Hagley Street Dreams. The True EP. Then it was the Seat at the Table. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been a Solange fan. People would make fun of me like, you listen to Solange? Don't listen to Solange but you. I'm like, what?
Think that's crazy.
And then when her album came out, The Seat at the Table, everyone was playing that shit, Cranes in the Sky. Everybody was bopping to it. And then now everybody want to be a Solange fan now, which is great. I'm glad you woke up. But don't play with me like that.
Wake it up. But honestly, when I Decided dropped, I was like, wow. I was amazed. I was blown away. That, to this day, love that song.
Tony.
I admit I did not keep up with Solange as much as I do now. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna pretend. But Lovers in the Parking Lot.
Amazing.
And Losing You. That's when I started like really tuning back in more consistently. Then I was like, oh, I can't wait for a next thing to come out. And then the next thing was A Seat at the Table. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a whole new world. And she really created her world entirely with that.
And you see people taking little bits of what she did already, which is fine. It's so good.
It's an artist. I won't say their name, but
you can say it off camera.
I'll say it off camera. I could tell they got inspired by the way she does things on a visual
I even see
level.
some of Solange's choreography in other people's videos too. We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
that's fine. Like she's amazing. Okay, so
I know who else I want to work. Really want to work with Issa Rae.
She was just here a couple months ago, and like that would have been so good for you.
Yeah, I want to work with her. Company wise, I really want to work with Frequency for Spotify.
They follow me, girl. I was like, oh my god, what? Girl, they do.
I love what Damo is doing with Frequency. I love what she's doing with them. Shout out to DJ Damo.
But I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Listen, I would love to.
I think the thing is, we need to travel. We need to go to LA.
Yeah, we might have to do that.
Keep telling me go to LA.
Listen, and I be getting follows and people like, what's going on here? Like y'all see me? Like,
it means they watching. They watching, and they're looking for the right opportunity to pounce.
Okay.
That's what I take it as. I'm like, all right. Wrap it up then. Come on, what's happening? But nah, I'm patient.
Yeah, me too. Like I'm just going to make sure I both of us can just keep putting out consistent content.
Exactly.
Good quality content, because sometimes quality is worth more than quantity. That's the thing as well. What advice would you give another creative on following their journey?
and following their journey. I would say stay patient. Stay patient. Keep the right people in your corner. Keep the right people in your corner. Usually, if you get a hunch about something about someone, follow that and believe it.
Girl, you ain't telling me nothing but a word, child.
Yes.
We can talk off camera.
Exactly. Follow it and believe it. I'm not saying blow up on anyone, but it's okay to distance yourself from people. Some people, I get it. People have survivor's guilt as well. Don't let that get to you. Sometimes you have to leave people where they're at. You really do. And hone in and focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best advice you can give anyone.
Yeah.
In anything. And with creating or just with mental health. Like, focus on yourself.
Absolutely.
Nobody got you like you got you, honestly. That might sound cliche, but it's real.
Yeah, I will say no one got you like you got you, but also accept help and create your own community at the same time. You have to have a balance, and you have to surround yourself with the people who have a similar or even better mentality than you, so you can learn from them and vice versa.
Yeah. I had to give that a round of applause as well. Well, thank you so much, Jada Imani M, for joining her the podcast.
Thank you.
I feel honored. I'm so glad that we learned so much more about you. I want you to come back again and again and again and again.
Yay.
And tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere at Jada Imani M. That's Jada Imani M. That's not Jada Imani. That's Jada Imani M.
Please say the M.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dani, for having me.
Thank you. You guys can follow Her the Podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Her the Podcast. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms, and make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, HER''D. We out. Thanks for watching and listening.